This podcast contains discussions of mature themes, including violence, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Please proceed with caution. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, listeners. Welcome to Dark Talk Episode 8, The Resurrection. As ever, I'm your host, Dan, and I'm joined by my comrades, Paul and James. How are you guys?
Hello, how are we?
Alright.
Good, man, good.
Yeah. Feeling excited about this one?
No, not at all. I wanted to watch this one even less than I wanted to watch Halloween 5. Literally just pulled it out of my arse last night. I had a free hour and a half, and I thought, right, I'm just going to have to cram this in, because otherwise I'm just not going to watch it. So, yeah. Got myself through it. How about you?
I kept going through phases. I was, really excited to watch it because I haven't seen it for so long, and then I actually remembered what it was like, and I was like, fuck's sake. And I've been rewatching Breaking Bad, so I didn't really want to turn that off to put Halloween Resurrection. But no, I got through it last night.
Paul, how about you? Are you excited for The Resurrection?
I was putting it off. I started watching it last time after we talked about H2O, and I turned it off after 20 minutes. So I've been putting it off, and then last night about midnight, I was just like, right, I've got to watch it. I got a bit of time. And I got to say, I enjoyed it. As shit as it is.
Don't even. After your performance last time, with how much you hated H2O, don't even start and tell me you like this film.
No. It changed my whole outlook on it. No, it's a shit film. I enjoyed how shit it was. I go into it not taking it too seriously, and it's fine, yeah. Shit, but I enjoyed it.
Talk to me. Tell me. Have you seen any good films past 7 days? What have you watched?
I went to the cinema on Tuesday to see The Joker Part 2. Have any of you seen it?
No.
No, not yet. It's a film I don't think I'm going to watch it because I enjoyed the first one so much. I really didn't think they needed a sequel. And from what I've heard, it's crap. So.
I was going to go and see it in the cinema. We were going to do, before the reviews came out, going to do IMAX, so it was 20 quid each. And then it's you got to get cinema popcorn and that. So you're looking at 50 quid. And then I saw a load of reviews saying it was shit. And I was like, well, I will decide for myself, but I'm not willing to pay 50 quid for a shit film, So I've been waiting to watch it. And haven't yet.
Yeah. I won't say too much about it then. I won't say anything about it.
I mean, yeah, no spoilers because we have listeners out there that might not have seen it yet, so they don't want to listen to a Halloween Resurrection podcast and talk about Joker Part 2. There's only so much bad films that we can hit.
Or can I say if I liked it or not?
Yeah, say if you liked it or not, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't. I don't like musicals, so it's not really fair of me to say.
I can't bear musicals.
I remember about 18 years ago, during the height of Johnny Depp mania, Pirates of the Caribbean, and when Sweeney Todd first came out, and we all were very excited to go and watch Johnny Depp, and we sat there, and it was a fucking musical. We were just like, oh my god. I mean, we should have known, because Sweeney Todd is famously a musical, but we were only kids back then, so we thought, oh god, what is this? Yeah. Sat through 2 hours of just that awful film.
You went to the cinema to watch it, so you didn't really want to leave. Yeah, I remember putting it on because I remember seeing the poster and all the designs and stuff, and it looked so good. And then I did the same. I put it on. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, same.
Not that I've got anything against musicals. The Les Mis.
I just don't like any of them. I don't think. I think Beetlejuice is the furthest I'll go.
South Park, the musical.
That's great. That's probably the only acceptable musical I can watch. I remember watching Rock of Ages. I think it was. I put it on and I turned it off as soon as they started singing. And do you know what? Even even a small amount of singing in films kind of just gets to me. I started watching Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's the bit when they're outside at the van,
sucks ass.
And Freddie Mercury comes up and they're like, "Well, can you even sing?" And then he just breaks into song. I was like, "Oh, my fingernails."
Even episodes of Family Guy, as soon as they start singing, I'm like, oh, fucking hell, I've got to sit through 3 minutes of this.
You are forgetting, there is one good musical, though. The Lion King.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Oh, I watched Rocky Horror Picture a couple of weeks ago. I didn't actually mind that.
Yeah,
it's just
course,
crazy. Yeah, I really like that.
Rocky Horror's good, yeah.
We're going to be inundated with comments now of people saying, well, what about this musical, you fucking dickheads?
Yeah.
you can put like Lion King and Rocky Horror in something that you saw when you were a kid. I don't think I'd like it if I saw it as an adult. Gotta be honest.
Oh, Lion King. No, Lion King still holds up.
No. But if you saw that for the first time as an adult, you'd be like, probably, when they start singing and stuff, you'd be like,
It's Well, I only watched it for the first time like last month or 2 months ago. Rocky Horror, but I think because there's so many funny bits in it. No, no, because there's like so many like funny bits and it's just mental. I was just kind of laughing at that.
Rocky Horror is more like a stage show anyway, though, isn't it?
A couple of years ago, I went to watch Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell, the musical, live in Manchester, and I was fucking blown away. It was so good, and I don't even like Meatloaf or musicals. But
Really?
I came out of there just like, I couldn't believe. I'd definitely go and see that again.
Oh, I liked La La Land actually. I really enjoyed watching that.
So it turns out we actually all quite like musicals then.
Yeah, maybe I should go and rewatch Joker then. Now I know this about myself.
I watched La La Land for the first time about 2 months ago.
You like it?
No.
I think the first time I saw it, I was like, because my girlfriend at the time, she was like, I really want to go see it. I was like, yeah, like Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. And then I came out of it being like, God, if the musical bits weren't in it, that film would have been so good. But that's like such a dumbass thing to say.
Yeah, that musical would have been good if there was no singing or dancing or any kind of fun.
It's such a dickhead comment to make. But this was years and years ago, so.
Paul, what have you been watching?
After we spoke last time, I sat down and put Resurrection on and turned it off. And then I watched the original Child's Play. What else have I watched? Saint Maud as well. I started that. I haven't actually finished it yet.
Oh, yeah. Tell me what you thought of that.
I haven't finished it yet. I still haven't. I've been working a lot, so I just haven't got back to it. So far, it's pretty good, yeah. Because it's pretty good as a background, like visual kind of thing. And I also started watching a Studio Ghibli film from the 90s called Whisper of the Heart. It doesn't apply to like a horror conversation, but in it, like a couple of characters started singing together, and I looked at the missus, I was just like, and she could feel my body tense up because it's the musical thing again. But other than that, no. And then Resurrection last night.
What have you been watching, brother?
I watched a few films, so about 10 minutes before we started recording tonight, I've just finished the new Candyman from 2021. Only put it on as background noise, but I ended up sitting and watching it. I quite enjoyed it. You had told me you really didn't like it, so I had no expectations, but yeah, I didn't think it was offensively bad. Last night I watched a film called Southbound, anthology horror film from 2015. I think you two would like it. It's set in like the high desert, and it's about five different stories of all this creepy weird shit. It's kind of like VHS, but it's all set in the same area. You both would definitely enjoy it. It was okay. I won't spoil anything for you. It was okay. I watched a film called Killer Joe with Matthew McConaughey. Seen it?
No, I've not seen that. It's on my list.
Paul, have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
That film took a hard left during the last third. I'm not going to spoil it, but like it completely shifted genre for the last sort of half hour. Where I honestly, Paul, I don't know if you thought the same thing. It was almost as if I was watching, because McConaughey was in it, I was watching the fourth Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Did you get that from what happened in it?
Yeah.
So that was Killer Joe. That was pretty good. And one that I was really excited to watch, and I really enjoyed it, and I think, again, you'll both like it. It was a film called Starvacre. Have you seen or heard of that?
What was that, Starvacre?
Starvacre with Matt Smith, Doctor Who.
Nah, I've not even heard that.
Oh, I've seen. That's come out quite recently, hasn't it?
It's last year I think, or the year before maybe. It's quite recent. It was
weird. I saw a trailer for this in the cinema.
It's like a 1970s British folk horror. It's almost like the stereotype of folk horror, but yeah, really cool, really slow burn, really unsettling. I'm not going to say any more, but like definitely, you guys, anyone listening, go watch that film. That's my film of the week, definitely.
That's been on my... So there's a cinema by my house, and it's not like a Cineworld or anything. It's like I don't know what you'd call it, like an art... Well, the place is called Chapter Arts.
Independence.
Yeah, it's like an arty cinema. And I went to watch Longlegs in there, actually. And before that, they had a trailer for Starvacre. So I thought it had just come out. But they must have been playing it because they're going to play it soon or something.
Yeah, I think it was made last year, and I think it might have been released at like film festivals last year, and it's only just been starting to gain traction.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With the wider audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking loved it. It was great. Right, should we brace ourselves? tuck our willy between our legs and just get on with it.
Oh, fucking hell. There we go.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here tonight to discuss Halloween Resurrection, released in 2002, directed by Rick Rosenthal, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Tyra Banks, Bianca Kalijic, and Buster motherfucking Rhymes as Freddie Harris. Oh god, right, come on. First line. What are your memories of this film? When was the first time you saw it? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think I saw this around when it came out, and once again, like a few years later, and then just never watched it again until last night, basically.
So you've probably got the easiest ride on this film. So you watched it when it came out, so you were like disappointed then, and then didn't have to watch it again for another 22 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
I can't really remember. I remember it was the first Halloween that I'd ever watched on DVD, I think.
Yes, we had this on DVD.
This probably wouldn't have come out on VHS, would it?
Came out on VHS and DVD.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I remember watching it, and I actually remember being really excited to watch it because I was like, "Oh my god, how are they going to bring Michael back to life?" I was so young. Well, I was young at the time, and I watched it, and it wasn't very good, and it's not very good. But I remember still just watching it loads because I was obsessed with Halloween.
For me, this was... I'd never saw it in the cinema. I had it on DVD. I'm going to admit to it now. I used to put this on in the background all the time. So I've seen this one a lot more than I should be admitting out loud. I've probably seen this about 10 times just from just having it on as background noise. I haven't watched it since... Oh God, I don't think I've watched it since about 2005. So it's been, coming up 20 years now. It's the last time I saw it. And I don't think I'm ever going to watch it ever again in my life.
I found myself, I think because I'd seen it so much as a kid, when I was rewatching it last night, I found myself like, especially that opening bit, the whole Jamie thing. I was remembering exactly like certain bits and like the sound effects and stuff like that. And I was like, shit, I must have watched this a lot to be able to remember. But fucking hell, what a waste of time.
Yeah. You could have learned to like play the violin. You
then speak a different language.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff. But no, instead you memorized the opening segment of Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah, I'll put it on my CV. Yeah. I can act it out for you if you want.
So, directed by Rick Rosenthal, he returns to the franchise for the second time. Famously directed the awesome Halloween 2. So, what went wrong with this film?
It's partially because I think he only ever did one other film after Halloween 2, which was The Birds 2.
The Birds 2? No way. Yeah.
Straight to video release. I'm sure he did other films before it, but then after that he just did TV stuff, and then it was something to do. Oh god, I'm gonna give you one of those. Like, I'm gonna quote something I've heard again. It's probably wrong again because I hear things, remember it incorrectly, and then spout it as truth. I'm pretty sure he was friends with someone who wrote the script or something like that, and then they were like, "Oh, boom, get that guy."
I can't really call him a bad director because like there's nothing really that bad about the film. It's not like Ed Wood style. The set's falling apart and the acting's terrible.
Really?
So he's a pretty competent director. The way he's got everything together. He's certainly put together like almost a solid film. It's not egregiously bad, but it's just fucking boring. Really,
it's more solid than the theatrical cut of like Halloween 6 anyway.
I think narratively, I think it is. I don't think it's as good. I think it's nowhere near as good.
No, it's nowhere near as good, but it's more cohesive.
Yeah, he's telling a basic story, and he's done that okay for what the story is. But
narratively, yeah.
Well, I was going to mention this in the elevator pitch if we were going to do it for this, about the fact that the film is actually not a Halloween film. It's a film idea that someone had brought to Dimension, and then they went, "Oh, let's chuck Michael Myers and that shit."
What is that? Is that an actual thing, or you think that?
No, that's a fact.
Because one of my comments was this film shouldn't be Halloween. It could have been like a standalone film about some bullshit killer.
Yeah, it was basically.
So I've put that this is like it's like an episode of Supernatural. Like in every episode of Supernatural, you have the bit at the start where a load of characters you don't give a shit about, they get killed by the monster and they die, just to show you what the monster is before Sam and Dean turn up to save the day and have a more interesting plot. That's what this is. It's just a load of teens in a crappy fucking haunted house.
The only difference is though, Supernatural's actually got like a good title card. These titles are the worst. Fucking like they've gone onto Microsoft Paint, click glow effect on like this. Oh, it's so bad, and they're so quick. There's no like, oh, it's awful.
Is there even a title card in this film?
Yeah, it's like the font is just like
it's like black with orange piping like light around
it's
it.
just
Have I got that right?
It's literally like Microsoft Word art. Yeah, basically.
Graphic design is my passion.
Yeah. Those are the worst title sequence so far. I know a lot of them are just text on screen, but so are like a lot of Tarantino's films. But there's a mood behind them, and this is literally so fast, and it doesn't give you any time to like settle into it and feel like, ooh, what's going to happen. It's like shit.
So we open up after those awful credits, and we meet the exposition nurses, as ever. A tradition in a Halloween film. You have the exposition security guard, you have Dr. Loomis in a voiceover, you have Tommy Doyle. So we get, is it? I thought it was CCH Pounder. Given the
that would have been sick if that was guest star in CCH.
Yeah, sadly we didn't get it.
When you edit this, can you please put like a sound clip of Dennis from Sunny doing an impression of CCH Pounder?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
God damn it, Dutch! What other errands do you have us running for the DA?
So this nurse, she's given the not the full backstory, because we don't need the full backstory of Michael Myers by this point, because we're friggin' 8 films in, but we do get the explanation of how Michael Myers was able to survive a beheading at the finale of the previous film. Who wants to explain?
I feel like I should hold my hands up and say that I don't mind this. I don't mind how they explained it. I actually quite like it. And I don't know if it's whether because when I was a kid, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Because I was like, there's no possible way they can get around it. But I quite like it.
I was just going to say, I actually have been thinking about it for about a week, about how they could have got around it. And other than being completely supernatural, like Jason style, like a dog pissing on his head and his head just grows out a new body or something. There is no other way other than that person in that mask wasn't Michael at that time. So there is. I don't mind it either. It's a bit over the top, but it's a film. So
I don't mind that so much. In fact, when I was younger, I thought that was really clever as well. But when you go back and look, and you from H20, and you see, like, they knew they were going to do this when they were filming H20, so they could have filmed H20 in a way that made this makes sense, but they didn't, because this paramedic, when he's got the mask on and his larynx crushed, he's still trying to attack Jamie Lee Curtis. He still sits up like Michael. All the stupid shit, he's still acting like Michael. So you're right, it was either supernatural or it had to be someone else in the mask. And for me, I would have had I know this might have been received worse, but I still think it's better than what we got. I would have just had the H20 killer would have been a copycat killer. Have the film end as it did. Then in this one, when they took the mask off, have it be fucking that lad, Charlie, from the last film, or have it be somebody, that's not Michael Myers, and they took the mask off and they realised he was too young to be Michael Myers. It was a copycat killer, so the real one's still out there, something like that. Better than this paramedic shite.
I like that, but I think that wouldn't have been received well, because then that changes the whole film of H2O rather than just the ending. No, I'm not trying to be offensive towards your thing, because I like that.
I don't think it could have been received any worse than what this was. And remember, we were talking about H2O, how different the Michael was, because the Michael in H2O was just this stupid gonk that just kept getting beaten up. Whereas compare him to the Michael of 6 and the original, it's just it's not the same.
Yeah, and there are parts when he acts completely not like Michael when the family are in the toilets and he steals the car, because he would have killed them any other time. And when he waits to get let in through the gate, when LL Cool J lets him in through the gate by accident, he would have killed LL Cool J and just gone through the gate anyway. But it would be a good explanation.
I would have gone with a copycat killer for H20. I know people would have shat all over it, but this was just stupid.
I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good. I think if you look at the latest Halloween at the end, the last one, Halloween Ends, the copycat killer thing went awful. But I quite like the way they got around it, to be honest. The only during the exposition scene when the nurse is telling her, and obviously it cuts back to Michael Myers wearing a paramedic outfit, and he's still holding that fucking comic book sized knife, walking. Oh. Just in case we didn't know it was him, by her being like, yeah, he dressed up as a paramedic and escaped. It's like, just in case we didn't know. Oh yeah, so where's his big knife?
Do you know what though? Jamie Lee Curtis didn't know that they'd planned a twist. So you know when you said about why did he have to do the sit up and why was he still trying to get her? Jamie Lee Curtis would have probably been like, wait a minute, why is he being weird? That's not like. Wait a minute, they're going to do another film.
I heard two things. So I heard there was one. That was the one that I heard that she didn't actually know they were going to do it, but they did. But then also that she knew, and they filmed those scenes right after they'd finished H2, you know, the flashback scenes. But she was like, I will only do it if you don't put them in this film. But I always thought that she didn't know.
She was contracted for this film. She didn't want to do this film, and you can fucking tell. Those first 15 minutes, they are just so filled with spite and someone that doesn't want to be there. You know, she's professional and she does a good job, but like you can see it in her bones. She just does not want to be in this film. Like, and I don't blame her.
I wonder how much she got paid for this.
So she was like contracted to do something like a 1 minute 60-second scene or something like that, and she was going to get paid a set amount. And because they asked for more, she asked for more money, and she donated it all to charity. She just gave it away. And she, on top of that, she got to act like she didn't really have any lines. So like they were like, she hasn't spoken for 4 years, and she's just sitting sideways, just like. So she got to act arsey as well. Like, so if you're watching it, it's almost like Fire Walk with Me when it zooms into the TV and just like it just smashes the TV. It's like David Lynch saying "fuck you" to TV and all that.
Yeah.
It was so lazy as well. She looks out the window and she sees Michael standing there, and I thought, oh, this shit again. Fuck me. You've used this in how many films now?
It's so weird, isn't it? It's like, normally she'd be like, no, like he's coming and all this stuff, you know, like she is in every film. But they're just like, nah, fuck it, we'll just put him outside. It's just like, he's not even stood in like a shadow, he's just stood outside. Just
I know. Like he stood under the floodlights in the middle of the grass. Like
about this like opening scene. I know it's like almost like a completely different film. It's almost like a short film on its own. But the amount they show Michael is unreal. Like, he's not in the shadows or anything. He's just like, how is he meant to be scary if he's just this guy with a shit mask on? And it's just like showing your hand too early.
Yes,
God.
Exactly.
There was one good scene in this first 15 minutes that I enjoyed. It's where the two security guards, they put the clown guy. I've got a lot to say about him as well. You just wait. They put the clown guy back to bed, and then they hear him down in the basement, so they go off like that. And you can. This is the only good shot that I could. Probably the only good shot of the film. It's the camera, the security monitor shows Michael walking past the vending machine, and I thought, oh, that's reminiscent of Halloween 2. It's exactly the same. And that was the only part of this film that I thought was even the tiniest bit scary. Like,
yeah, there's a picture of Josh Hartnett in Jamie Lee Curtis's bedroom in the asylum. Don't know if you noticed it. They got the Raggedy Ann doll, which is from the original. She had it in her bedroom or something in the original. And then next to it, there's a photo of Josh Hartnett from H2O, like on the wall, like a scrumpled up but straightened out picture.
Well, I'm just jumping ahead now, but later on when they find Michael's sewer Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lair, he's got a Raggedy Ann doll with the screws in its eye. Tell me about these cops. So we got these two cops. They are almost certainly less bumbling than the Halloween 5 cops. They're not as bad as them. But they're not Sheriff Meeker. They're not Sheriff Brackett.
So I'm just reading my notes now, and at this point, so I put, oh, nice nod to Halloween 2 with a CCTV shot. And then my next comment, which must be about these two, obviously, is the script is so bad in this, and the acting is even worse. Because they go down to check this body, and he's like, I don't even know their names. Is it Larry, one of them? He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I just got hungry. It's like, hurry up. Oh, fucking.
I skipped dinner.
Yeah. It's just the worst thing, and it's so well lit as well.
There's blonde cop and the black-haired cop. So the blonde cop goes in, you hear a noise, the black-haired cop follows him in, and the washing machine is on. And cop number one, blonde cop, he's been given the old Deborah Strode treatment. He's had his head cut off. Michael Myers has put it in with the washing again. So he opens the washing machine. We get the head reveal. Now this cop, the second cop, he stumbles backwards and trips over this headless body, which apparently somehow he didn't see before he opened the washing machine.
I fucking hated that.
And I was like, I groaned out loud. I thought, oh god, this is what we're in for.
Like it's that fucking ninja weird like hanging off a pipe thing. Like I hated it in H2O and I hate it in this. It's fucking stupid. And
it's worse in this one as well because H2O is a bit, you can see him, but his mask's like still dark. This is just, it's literally because I had the same mask when I was a kid, and it just looks awful. And also, again, we get another shot of his fucking shoes. Every time they keep showing his shoes. I screenshotted it earlier, but I can't put it in this chat. Have you got WhatsApp open up?
Boat shoes.
Fucking loafers.
But they're not brogues, at least. They do appear to be boots.
Let's see, we're on the subject of him. Let's talk about Michael for the whole film. Played by stuntman Brad Lurie. What do you think of his performance in this one?
Apparently, when he was approached for the film, he didn't know what Halloween was, and he thought it was going to be a Mike Myers film.
A what film?
Mike Myers.
Oh.
Yeah, baby. So he didn't know it, and then after he watched the original, he basically just copied the original, which I've got to say is probably better than like the last guy who said, I'm going to pretend to be a large cat and act like I'm stalking my prey. He's like a blank slate almost, isn't he? So it's better. He's decent in this film.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad.
It's really fucking funny. Just like he thinks he's going to be like the next Austin Powers, and he turns up on the set, and they direct him to the Halloween Resurrection. Fucking
thinks he's going to play like Austin Powers stuntman, so he's like, oh, I'm going to have to wear this wig, these glasses.
I think he does a very good job in this film. Actually,
yeah.
They must have learned their lesson from H20 because later on in the film, he's a lot more darkly lit. Like he emerges from the shadows more, and I was just like so happy about that. So much better than the H20 Michael.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of shots in this where I don't mind the mask. I don't think it's like bad at all, but it's when it's lit bad. Obviously, anything looks bad. There's some shots in this when it's lit and you can barely see it, and it looks really fucking creepy. It's really good.
Yeah, I think the best part was we'll get onto it in a bit, but that horrific Busta Rhymes double Michael Myers scene. You can tell the difference between how goofy the Busta Rhymes mask looks and when they pan back to the real Michael. It looks really sinister, I thought that was really... I mean, fuck that scene, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think what they've done there, though, because you can see there's no shadow on Busta's mask, is there?
And it's because it's in the shadows, though, as well. You can almost see, like, what it's made out of, Busta's mask, but Michael's still in the shade, in the shadow, almost.
Yeah.
And that's why it looks so much better.
You got anything else to say about Michael? James? Paul? Either of you?
No, I think he did a good job in this. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
If he was in a good film, it'd be a lot different, right? Again, the mask is. I hate it, but I also really like it in some shots.
They worked with what they had better than they had done previous films.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a great mask if you look at it in light. I think I read that they actually made more shape in the forehead and like that, so that the shadows would make it look a bit more so menacing. Whereas they didn't need to do that. But I think the best thing that came about of it, the whole film, was from the shadows and stuff. Just use the fucking shadows to make it look more menacing and stuff. It's a better Michael than H2O. The mask is better. His acting is better. And there are scenes where he could be more depicted as more scary than H2O. So yeah, probably the best since 6, better than 4 and 5.
So after he's killed the two gonks, he doesn't take their keys and let himself into Laurie's room. He smashes through that room like he's the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah!
Yeah, it's when he's chasing it.
Straight through, like cannonballs
he
through.
He fucking yeets his head straight through that door. I absolutely love that. Because like you hear a couple of bangs and then it cuts to the door and it's just like the first thing you see is his face. He's not even like using his hands or anything or a shoulder. He doesn't kick it. He just fucking bang.
It's just not Michael. It's not very Michael though, is it?
It's not very Michael, but in a film where you've got to make as much appeal out of it as you can. For me, that was appealing.
The shot of his POV shot where it like stops and looks through, and then, you know, they must have added the camera shake in later and added these sound effects of like
that is so
it looks like gameplay footage.
Do you know what they did as well though? Every shot where Michael is shown, they've slowed down the frame rate as well.
Oh, I know, I hate it.
It shows him like walking, and it's like, I don't know what they were doing that. Maybe like, you know, you've seen those like films that I've been doing, and I put all these like mad effects on them to make up for the fact that I'm doing it on my phone. So like they probably saw it back and were like, this is too like obvious. This is too like clean and stuff. We've got to make it a bit more. So they were like, right, slow the frame rate down, make it look like glitchy and that. But it doesn't work with the normal scenes, you know, it doesn't cross over that well.
Because I think what they've done is they filmed it all, and like you said, they've decided later on in post, being like, oh, let's slow that down. If it's not shot for slow motion, it will look shit. So with normal films, like 24 frames, obviously, but to shoot slow motion, you'd shoot more and then slow it down. It reminds me of films of that time.
It reminds me a lot of, you said films from that time. The whole thing, I would have said this at the end as a roundup of what you think of the whole film. It reminds me a lot of stuff like House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts, that kind of thing. Especially the plot as well, but the way it's filmed and stuff.
Remember like House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts use a lot of like sped up footage, which is fucking really creepy. There's a few frames cut out and stuff like that. I love that.
The heads are like spinning and stuff.
It happens in this. So you know the flashback shot of the paramedic pulling off the mask of the decapitated bloke. They do it like that, and he like grabs the, and then it's a couple of frames, and then the mask's off.
We've never spoken about that you actually work in film, have we, James? So you know about this kind of shit. You're not just spouting.
Yeah.
You know your shit.
I don't work in like the film industry, but I work. Yeah, that's my job. Yeah.
So we get two callbacks in this bit. So Michael bursts through the door, and he goes to stab Laurie, who is not in the bed. So there's a callback to Halloween 2. Is that right? And then we get a callback, what I think is a callback to Halloween H20, where she sneaks up behind him and bonks him on the head. Yeah. So Michael chases Laurie, chases her to the rooftop. Now, Laurie, somehow, despite being doped to the eyeballs for 3 years or whatever it's been.
She's not, though, because she hides her pills in a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so she's been keeping the pills and not taking them. But she's somehow been able to escape her room, which is under lock and key, to get on the roof and rig up a snare trap using, like, a crane and a pulley system that somehow nobody's noticed. And she just so manages to trick Michael into stepping into it and just like lassoes him like a fucking rabbit.
If there was any way to make the killer look not scary,
it's a proper like Bugs Bunny style trap, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, it's not the fact he gets caught in it, because when he's upside down and she's going to grab his mask, it looks pretty creepy. But it's just that bit where you see him get caught up.
Oh, Michael like trying to swing his knife up, trying to cut the rope. Like, oh my god.
Oh, like you could add sound effects to that scene of like an old man being like, oh, and it would just
with his loafers.
Yeah, massively.
Can we just say before we continue the plot, I've been meaning to remember this, how much younger does Jamie Lee Curtis look with long hair? Like when it first shows her and the camera like pans into it, she only looks about 5 years older than the 1978 film in that shot. But then in H2O, she does legitimately look like 40 odd.
Yeah. She's headmistress, isn't she, in H2O? So she's got that stern Margaret Thatcher look going on.
Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, so she's got PTSD from murdering the paramedic, who was a father of 3. That was CCH Pounder told us. So instead of doing the smart thing and just like killing Michael then and there, she has to be sure, and and kind of half and half with it, because she shouldn't need to do this because he's just broken in and tried to kill her, so it's obviously him. Michael grabs her, stabs her, they both tumble off the roof. She kisses him goodbye and she falls down into the trees, and that is the end of Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode in this continuity.
Was it just me, or when she's falling, did it look like she was going to keep falling for much longer and then she just suddenly like hit the floor, but it looks like it looks about 10 feet from the roof.
Yeah, I think it's like an obvious like green screen where they've just, and trees look CGI, don't they? It's awful.
Yeah, she goes like past trees and then just stops. So there's like, I was just like, what the fuck?
What do you think? Do you think it was the right thing to bring her back for this film? Do you think it was the right thing to bring her back for H20? What do you think? She was like a bona fide proper film star. She didn't need to come back and do these two fucking films. You know, she was doing them a favour.
Yeah. Well, when I watched it last night, I was like, why the fuck did they kill her off? But then I was like thinking about it today, and I was like, yeah, just like, who cares about this film? Just kill her off so they can just do this bullshit storyline, I guess.
Just don't use her. Just leave her. Have her in Halloween H20 and have that be the end. And just don't bring her back for this. Like,
yeah.
This film, right, could have been much better if they used the money and time that they wasted with this scene to make the rest of the film a bit better, a bit longer, a bit more expansive and stuff, because of the amount of money they did put into this. And then they wouldn't have had to do the bullshit explanation. They wouldn't have had to, I don't know, it just didn't need to, but they were scared and they were money hungry so that they could put Jamie Lee on the poster. Have you seen the poster? It's her from H2O.
Was it? She's not even got long hair in it.
They were money hungry and they were greedy, and they were like, we need to advertise her so the fans will actually come and watch it. When they should have just fucking put more time and effort into making it like a standalone kind of thing, that like people were dying out for that story to end, you know, with the family thing. And however, if I watched the first 15 minutes as like a standalone short film, I'd like that shit. Like, it is great. Like, if I was going to have a film night and watch like a bunch of different ones, I would add that 15 minutes into a list of my films I was going to watch, because I do like it. As stupid as some parts are, I like how it's shot.
Yeah, as much as I've just said I didn't need this. This was the best part of the film. So, like, where do I land on it?
I always think now, like, I wonder how much, like, obviously it's directed by Rick Rosenthal, but I wonder how much, like, say he actually had on, because if he'd have filmed this first bit anywhere near like Halloween 2, you know, it would have been fucking such a different film stuff. He must have had the Weinsteins being like, nah, we need it like all this, like, all this, not what the kids want and all this shit.
Plus, I think John Carpenter had a lot to do with why Halloween 2 was so good, because I don't think Carpenter and Rick Rosenthal quite get on. I think Carpenter overruled him on a lot of stuff for Halloween 2. I think there's a bit of a, from what I can gather, there's a bit of a dislike between them, which is funny because later on, what's the guy called? The sleazy leather jacket guy from The House. He's trying to get into the ginger-haired girl. He's a music major, Jim. And she says, I wouldn't screw a music major because that's tantamount to lesbianism. And John Carpenter was a music major. So I think that was a little shot from Rosenthal at him.
I know we'll get onto it later, but you can tell that this script has definitely had a lot of Harvey Weinstein's influence in it.
It is American Pie meets Halloween, isn't it?
Every single man that enters that house, so Jim, Rudy, the fucking dork from American Pie, they are all just fucking horrible perverts with those women. We'll get into what they're like as we get there. Well, it won't be too long now. But before we do, let's talk about the clown. So Michael hands off the bloody knife to the clown. There's a clown in, mate. He's Laurie's next door neighbour. He's a serial killer expert, so he dresses like John Wayne Gacy, the clown, and he quotes the killer, date of birth, where they're from, quotes their victims. So when Michael enters his room, this is like the clown meeting his absolute hero. I think he's even got a sketch drawing of Michael on his wall, I think. So the clown sees Michael, stands up, oh my god, here's my hero. And he lists Michael's victims from the H20 continuity. Now he misses out so many victims. Like, I was getting so angry. He says Michael killed Judith Myers in the 60s. Then he mentions killed 3 teenagers in 78. And then he says also killed 3 nurses and a paramedic same night. And then he moves on to H20 where he says killed 4 teenagers. We'll get into that one in a minute. But he misses out so many people. So what I've done is I've drawn up a list of the people that he's missed.
Yeah.
So he mentioned...
Sorry, just before you carry on, sorry, I fucking hate that line. It was like, also killed nurses and a paramedic same night. Like, oh my god, I hate that line so much.
It's cringe.
It's literally like he's saying, like, killed these, and that was part 2, and this is part... Fuck off. I hate it. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, he compartmentalises all the murders by film.
Like, it's just fucking stupid.
That's exactly what he's doing.
So he mentions the 3 teenagers. So that's Annie, Bob, and Linda, from
Yeah.
Halloween 1. Right. Can you name the other victim from Halloween 1 that he missed?
Yeah, the guy who got his overalls off.
The mechanic, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you name... So he says 3 nurses and a paramedic, right? So that paramedic is Bud. Yeah?
Do they know that that paramedic, the mechanic, had died from Michael Myers?
Yeah, it's got to be, because he was wearing his overalls and Loomis was there. And Loomis would have said, wouldn't he?
Maybe maybe he never got found, that body.
Of course he would, because his van was there and it was all fucked up, wasn't it? Anyway, so 3 nurses and a paramedic. Okay, so that's Bud. How many nurses did Michael kill in Halloween 2?
I can only think of 3.
Okay, which 3 can you think of?
So, Nurse Janet, Mrs. Alves, and I can't remember the name of the other nurse, but she's the one who gets this scalpel in her back and gets lifted up, the iconic.
Okay, right.
Screenshot.
You're missing one.
It's the face boil.
Oh, God!
Face boil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, think about the awesome pair of breasts that I've got.
Sorry, fucking beer just like came out my nose.
That was 3 nurses and a paramedic, he said. We've just listed 4 nurses and a paramedic. So, who else did Michael kill?
Okay, so what he says, 3 nurses and a paramedic, right? And the paramedic they're talking about is Bud. Okay, so there's the marshal, there's the young girl in that he just randomly walks into her house and kills. There's Mr. Garrett, and then who does he kill in Halloween 2? Shit, this is my favourite Halloween as well. I'm on the spot.
I'll give you a clue. You don't see this death, you just get a corpse reveal.
Oh, Dr. Mixter, fucking hell. There we go, and he's named in this fucking film.
So he says killed 4 students in H20, right? Which he doesn't. He kills 2 students. So that implies that he's killed John Tate and his bird, doesn't it? Now, he forgot some of the other murders of Halloween H20 as well. He forgot the death of the guidance counsellor, Adam Arkin's character.
Yeah.
David Schwimmer. I'm going to speed this through because Paul's fucking dead bored, I can tell.
I can't. I'm rubbish with concentration as it is. Like,
And he also doesn't mention Marion Crane, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, or Joseph Gordon-Levitt's pal. You know, the guy in the opener.
The one who looks like Harvey from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
They don't know that was Michael, but that was a murder that happened in Haddonfield. They know that Michael came back to kill in California, so they must know that it was him by now.
Well, no, because we had a chat with those detectives, didn't they? Where they're like, Michael Myers, I'm older than the guy was.
Yeah.
You know, I was 15 when he killed his sister.
So the clown has Michael's actual victim tally at 12. Michael's confirmed police body counts that the police know for a fact that he's killed is 17. And Michael's actual body counts that we, the audience, know is 20. So that clown, what a fucking clown he was.
Wait, didn't he wipe out an entire police station in Halloween 4?
Yeah, but there's different continuity, isn't it?
Oh, shit, yeah. Oops.
how long has the clown guy been incarcerated for, and how much information does he actually receive? Like, maybe he just...
But if he knows that Michael Myers killed 4 students recently, he would know all the rest.
Yeah,
he?
but maybe he just gets like a daily newspaper where it says 4 students
Yeah,
killed.
where they would report the deaths in it. Like, he would know. Like, he's like a crime...
Yeah,
he's meant to be
but
like
no,
a crime savant, isn't he? He's meant to be like Rain Man, but for like murders.
Fucking this conversation.
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So what? Yeah, I see what you're saying. He's meant to be like this Rain Man, but they've just fucking half-arsed it, where he just says it all wrong. But he says it by film.
I was just going to say before, Dan, how long have you been thinking about this?
No,
20 years. 22 years.
I didn't sleep last night. All I thought about was this. Go on, James, what are you going to say? So.
I was just going to say that fucking line where he's the same night. It's like, okay, so that was Halloween 1, that was Halloween 2. That's Halloween H20, and now we're in...
Imagine if it was like, he had to recap Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween 6, so they had to like quit all out. It's like, oh no.
Imagine how slow the camera would have to move.
The thing is, right, if he got out of his incarceration at any point, he'd be doing like a Horror Timelines YouTube channel, and he'd be getting it all wrong as well.
Imagine you'd have me there in the comments going, "You fucking got it right, you little prick! And fucking kill yourself."
Kill yourself.
Oh god. Right. Let's. We haven't. We've got to talk. We've got to talk about the rest of this fucking film now.
We got the whole film to go. We've been recording for over an hour.
Okay, so Dangertainment. Who wants to tell me what Dangertainment is?
Fuck. It's an internet reality TV show.
Okay, and it's like Most Haunted, or like Ghost Hunting with Girls Allowed. They send a bunch of people into a haunted place, and it's just
That was a proper show, wasn't it?
it was like one of those ITV things, like Ghost Hunting with Paul O'Grady or Ghost Hunting with the Dingles. Remember that?
It's like the American Derek Okora.
When we were talking about a recast, obviously you don't need to put this in, but I was like, fucking hell, imagine this set of like Derek Okora was like this Scouser in the middle of fucking Illinois somewhere. I'm getting Michael Myers coming through. Fucking hell, he's go. Oh my god. And obviously he doesn't say anything, so Derek Okora couldn't say anything.
So Dangertainment is a web-based future of the industry. It looks so fucking dated now. It's so dated.
Isn't it awful?
It's like a webcam show owned and operated by Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks, Freddie and I don't even know what her name is in this.
Oh no, I don't know.
They rig up cameras around the Myers house and they send a bunch of... I'm not even going to go into who these teens are because I just don't care.
Yeah, fuck.
They send a bunch of teens into this house and they've got to uncover the secrets of why Michael Myers became what he became. But because Freddie, Busta Rhymes, is a bit unscrupulous, he's put a load of fake props in the house. So he's put like a baby seat with like leather straps, so it looks like Michael was like an abused child. He's trying to get the easy answers and all that kind of serial killer was abused when he was younger sort of crap. But he's rigged the house up with quite a few things. And I'm just going to say this one now because we're on the subject. My favourite bit that I got a genuine laugh out loud this is when Jim, the music major, and Donna, the psychologist, they go downstairs to the basement to make a bit of love. They start having sex. They take their clothes off. And the wall just like bursts open and all these skeletons fall into them. Oh god, her reaction, she like stands up and she's topless and she's screaming and she's like, oh my god, it's a mass grave, all his victims.
Yeah.
And then Jim like leans over and he looks at the skeletons. They're fake, they're like made in Taiwan or something like that. So they start realizing that the house is just fucking a load of crap basically. But it's funny because when they're sent in, it's like they're sent in to like uncover clues now, and the house can't be that big. They're like acting like they're exploring the Resident Evil mansion. They're like, right, you guys go that way, I will go that way, and like none of them can hear each other, even though it's like a tiny fucking house. I just, ugh.
Yeah, there you go. Take a breath. Yeah.
Do you know what, though? Just before all of that happens, you know, when she's talking to Deckard online and that, like, weird guy who's like...
Oh, that weird guy comes in.
The weird guy, and he's like, oh!
Oh, so he's the harbinger, isn't he? He's the crazy Ralph. He's telling him, you know, that's where...
He doesn't do anything, though. He barely says anything.
No, he does. He's the weirdo dude, and he's like giving him the whole, like, that's where his victims were, and he killed his sister, and it's like a load of crap.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
He starts, like, sniffing her pants, and, yeah, like...
Imagine that.
Oh!
Yeah. And he does that thing, and then he's just gone for the rest of the film. It's like...
It's like he was trying to do his, like, Matthew Lillard impression.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The way he looks and dresses.
Yeah.
Oh god!
But then before that as well, we've got a cameo from Rick Rosenthal, haven't we?
Oh shit! Yeah, as Professor Mixter. Yeah, who is what is he like the cousin of Dr. Mixter or nephew or son?
I don't know. Who gives a fuck?
Who fucking cares? Like, who could possibly care?
That old fucking. Okay, so we're in a lecture now, and what they're talking about. The shadow, the boogeyman inside us all. Fuck off.
At least with our new lead girl, Sarah, we do get one Myers trope out of it, but we didn't get her staring out the window and seeing Michael outside. We didn't get that one.
Well, not yet.
No, instead we get the one where she's looking for a dress or something to to go into the danger time.
It's just a H2O reference again.
She sees Michael in the mirror, doesn't she? Outside, she screams and turns around, and it's like some kids trick or treating. And it's like, why? What connection has she got to Michael Myers? Nothing. She's just like the most random nobody.
Exactly.
Ever.
Yeah.
She's the blandest final girl in the series, like by far. Like at least the bad ones, like Tina, are just like. At least there's something about them. This was just what?
You know, when they're in the lecture and the camera pans up and it's like you got to guess which girl they're going to, and it goes to the top and it finally stops on her, and she like looks up and twiddles her hair, then gives the answer. I was like, holy shit, she looks like the girl from Rules of Engagement.
It is her.
It is That's how long ago I saw this film. I've got plenty of mental notes on Busta Rhymes, and I sent you two some last night. Can I talk about him now? Shall I talk about him now?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, let's talk about Busta Rhymes and his character. He's like a carny promoter, hustler, and he thinks the internet's going to be the new thing. And he's right, and online television is the way forward. So he's right in that regard. But it just looks so dated in 2002. It's because the technology's so out of date. Like,
do you know what though? Right, it is dated, and people complain about it. It's like, it's dated. But in another 20 years, if you went back to that film, you'd be like, oh shit, that's what it was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it is a snapshot of what it was like. Yeah.
It is good because you can go back and you can see stuff like that.
It is literally like watching like Alien, right? You know Alien. What was the new one? Romulus. All the tech in like Alien Romulus is like stuff from like early computers, like green font on a black background, and it's like, fuck, that looks so sick.
Gotta stop talking about Alien Romulus on this podcast, man. It's like the 5th episode we bring it up.
But Paul, you're right. Is like in 20 years it'll be like fucking hell, yeah.
I like dated because it's good. It's not. I wouldn't even call it dated. It's like a time capsule. You go back and you watch that film and get the feel of that time, like them, like the shitty slow internet chat that's like, or like her like weird phone thing that when it spells out the messages, it does like one letter at a time.
Oh, her fucking Filofax, digital Filofax.
He's sending a text message in real time. It's coming across the screen as he's typing.
Yeah. And then when he sends a one that says like "go now," it's written in bold, but it's like, oh my god, it's so bad. But I don't think it's old enough to be. I think you're right. It's like in 20 years that will look like, oh yeah, but I think it's not quite old enough now. It's still in the era of the time where you want to take the piss out of it.
Definitely.
But then saying that, if the film wasn't so fucking stupid, you'd probably look back now and be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think people will though. I think people will look back and be like, shit, that's cool that it's still so old, and that was like very early internet technology. I know it's like the internet was a lot earlier, but it's early in the mainstream. It's early in like live streaming. And anyway, right, Busta Rhymes. Okay, so I didn't remember this from all those years ago watching it. He's got one sideburn. Right. It's on his left cheek, and it's like a fucking weird rock sideburn, like a dead thin one that spirals down, and he's got nothing on the other side. Yeah, so that bugged me throughout the film. But also, right, his hair, I sent this on the group last night. I took a photo of my laptop while I was watching it. He's got like 3 haircuts at the same time. He's got a crew cut, right? And then from where the buzz cut ends, he's got cornrows. At the back, he's got dreads.
I fucking love it. I think it looks good. For him.
Oh yeah, no, he looks cool, yeah.
But no, like I'm not saying his hair doesn't look cool. It does. It suits him and it looks cool. But in that one shot where he answers the door to her and he's standing sideways, I could not get past the fact that he looks like he's got 3 shades of head. It's so weird, man. So weird.
I'm going to give you a hot take. I really quite liked Busta Rhymes in this film. I quite liked it. I would really, if I was making a Halloween film and it was my choice, I really would not have him in it. But if he is in it, he's actually quite a highlight for me because I thought because the whole film was just fucking boring and stupid, but he was so over the top and so ridiculous. Just, go and be Busta Rhymes, do it. And he did a really good job with it. He's not the reason that this film is bad. He shouldn't have been in it, but he was giving it his all, and I thought he was actually pretty funny at some point.
I completely agree with everything you just said. I was thinking this last night. I was like, God, it's not watching him being like, fucking hell, this is so bad to watch. But it was like, I was watching him being like, oh, he's actually like a pretty good actor. Like,
I could not agree more. He acts like really tough, but not all the time. A couple of times he acts like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He shits himself a couple of times. And it's the fact that he likes these like fucking kung fu films. And he's like a sleazy businessman at the same time.
After he talks her back into staying, he remembers his fucking films. He's like, what, Chun-Li? Oh, God. Runs back into.
I read one thing that said, like, I wouldn't have been surprised if this film was written and directed by Buster Rhymes. Which I wouldn't at the time, yeah.
Okay, so my next note that I made. So they turn up at the house, and they're all outside and all the cameramen. And Sarah looks into what I assume is the living room of the house. And Michael Myers looks like an old woman. You can just see him straight there. And it's daylight outside. It's just not scary. And it's like, fuck. It just made me laugh. It like cuts to him looking out the window. It's like, what?
So when Donna, the redhead, after the skeletal mishap, she goes further in. And she actually finds Michael Myers' real lair, where he's living, like it's in the sewers. There's like rats that he's been eating that are still alive. The doll that we mentioned earlier, and it's just like gross. But she's still got a head cam on. All the contestants have been supplied with head cams for the viewing audience at home to watch the Scare Tactics Girls Aloud Ghost Hunting show. So when she starts running and panic, she sees Michael's lair and she starts running and panicking, and then she pans up and she sees Michael and he's walking towards her like dun dun dun. And it cuts back to everyone at the party watching, and they just start laughing out loud. They're like even they in the film know how shit he looks. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Thing is, it should look really menacing through those head cams because it is like so low quality that you can just see like a shape walking towards you with like a white face, and it should be like, oh fuck.
I kind of like the whole like head cam. Obviously, I don't like this film, but like the idea of it being like really bad quality. I assume they'd watch the Blair Witch at this point, which I think came out in, was it 99?
2000.
The year after H20.
2000 it was, Blair Witch, I think.
And then 1999, I think. Yeah, 99. So a year after H2, I think they've been like, which is obviously Blair Witch is fucking amazing because you don't see anything of the killer or whatever's going on. So there's a lot. I think there's like there's a reference to it later when Sarah like turns the mic to herself. I was thinking, like, one of my notes was like, if they remade this film now, like obviously it would be a lot better than this fucking shit. Like maybe it would be good if they did the whole film, but actually as if you were watching like the web series. I don't know.
I don't care for this film, and I don't want them to ever like remake or anything. But I mean, the idea of like say 6-10 minute webisodes set like in a haunted house like this, and each one ends with like a different kill or a different twist, like maybe that'd be a bit more interesting than watching a film like this.
I was just about to say it might be good as like an analog horror where if it wasn't Michael and it was different things, then
I just want to ask you a question, James. So we discussed earlier you work in the video editing production industry, so you use a tripod daily, really.
I know what you're gonna say.
So I just want to know, have you ever taken like a big strong blade, and have you ever sharpened the legs on your tripod so that they're actually sharper than the blade? So like if you were walking down the street with these sharpened blades on the leg of this tripod, you would get arrested for like the Offensive Weapons Act.
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
Have you ever seen how sharp tripod legs are? They're like razor blades.
They've got rubber on the bottom to stop them from moving.
So does it surprise you that this cameraman has got this like lethal weapon that he's holding his camera on that Michael steals off him and stabs him in the neck? Like, what the fuck is that all about?
I'll take that and go one further, right? So from my knowledge of tripods, that's the flimsiest looking fucking Jessop's bought piece of shit. And I've had those in the past where you pay like £10 and it breaks after using it like twice. That would not fucking pierce some guy's fucking... Oh, it's so fucking shit.
Hey Dan, as you were building up to that question, and I was like, I know what he's going to say. I honestly thought your question was going to be, James, how sharp are your tripod legs?
So this guy's death is so fucking lame because, like, instead of screaming or running or like shouting for help, because he's on the phone to Tyra Banks, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like he just sort of pins himself up against the wall. And he's like, he doesn't even make that sound.
He thinks it's someone else though, doesn't he? He's not like, oh shit, it's Michael Myers. Does he think it's Freddy?
No, because he's like scared because he knows what's going to happen. He just doesn't call out or scream, and it's entirely the reason he doesn't scream or call out is because Tyra Banks is in the office and she's like making a latte. So she misses everything. So by the time she sits down to look back at the computer, Michael's killed him and his corpse has been disposed of. But I was laughing at that because it's almost like I was just imagining Michael panicking trying to remove the body before Tyra Banks could see it. Like, oh, quick, Tyra Banks is going to come and get me. I better hide this body.
Well, watching that it takes the bit fucking it made me actually laugh out loud was after he's killed him. It's like he's holding the camera and he's holding his hand so you can make sure to see what he's like pulling his leg, and it's just like he's dragging the body away, and it just looks so funny.
He just leaves the camera in the perfect spot, and she's like,
"Oh god,
well done, fucking sick."
Yeah.
She's like, "Damn, man, you really did go to Spielberg school."
What a fucking shit death.
You got the little turd from American Pie, whatever his name is. He gets pulled through a mirror, stabbed to death.
See, I quite like it. I don't know. I hate saying I like anything about this film, but like,
no, if you like it, you like it.
When I first watched it, I was like, "Fuck, that's like one of the Jason deaths from Part 4 when the guy's looking out the window, or the girl's looking out the window, or something." And I was like, "Shit, that's pretty cool." But then I was looking at it, I was like, "Fuck, does he burst through the wall to come through the mirror?" I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter, but
yeah, it doesn't matter. Maybe there would have been a hidden compartment behind there for Busta Rhymes to do a jump scare or something like that. Michael's just got in there and used it.
It's either his scream or they put a screaming in post, but it's actually like, "Oh my god!" And it's like it's a good jump scare, I think.
That led me to my favourite quote of the film. Okay, so that's another death because it's quite early. Everybody can't really know that Michael's there killing just yet. So Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks, they're drinking wine and looking the other way, so they don't see that death either. They just look back and the camera's like white static. So Busta Rhymes looks back at the monitors and it's like, and he goes, "Oh no, we lost Bill's camera. He must have dropped it. Fucking idiot."
And also Busta Rhymes actually ad-libbed most of his lines in this film as well, so fair dues too.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I might have just called him Busta Lines. I'm not sure. Talking of, his name's Bill, by the way, American Pie dude, who, let's just say, he was the shittest part of American Pie as well. Don't like the dude. Don't like his face. So this line in a scene before it. So he's trying to get Jen to strip for him. And she's like, "Yeah, because that's going to happen, right?" And he goes, "Come on, Jen. One flash and you could light up 1,000 computer screens. Launch your whole career." Who the fuck wrote that line? Have a guess who wrote that line. Who has said that to countless amounts of young actresses as they're trying to make it in these films, in the Weinstein fucking production films?
Yeah.
It's absolutely minging. It's, ugh, God.
So that scene where woman who played Jen,
Katie Sackhoff,
and in the film actress. She's like pulling up her top and then it cuts to like an insert shot of you actually see her bra, right? That's not fucking her.
It's not her, no.
And she didn't know that was going to be in it, so when she went to the premiere or whatever and she watched it, she was like, "What the fuck? People think that's me now."
Okay.
She only agreed to up to the stomach.
What a fucking sly maneuver.
Let's not talk about the fucking widescreen. Let's not talk about Weinstein shit. I just makes me fucking feel sick.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, talking about her as an actress, did you know that the final girl, the Rules of Engagement girl, she couldn't actually scream as an actress? As you can tell later on when she's like got the chainsaw. When she does scream, they got the other actress.
Yeah.
They got her to do they dubbed in her screams over.
I can see that because she's a very good actor because she is a series regular in... I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a TV show called Longmire. It's about this sheriff in Wyoming, and he's fucking badass. And
I know she plays like an annoying character in it, but she plays it really well. I think she's good.
Yeah, I don't even think she's that annoying in this. You know, she's got respect for herself. Just keeps telling that fucking guy to piss off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So yes, that's cameraman's death, Bill's death. Donna, the redhead, she's already sort of discussed. She was in Michael's Lair. She gets impaled on a spike.
I didn't mind her as a character.
Yeah. There's just nothing. She has got that fucking guy just going like, "Oh, you've got great legs. What time do they open?" And she's like, "Oh, just fuck off, man." Right, we've got Katie Sackhoff gets beheaded at the top of the stairs with one swing of that fucking knife, takes her entire head straight off.
Can I just say, from here on, the film really picks up. The next 20 minutes are actually really good. It's constant, you know? The 20 minutes before, I was bored shitless. And I was just like, come on, it's fucking boring. All these like fakes and stuff. And then it just really does pick up.
I think it's when the redhead dies and it cuts back to their party and they're all like, ah ha ha ha. He's like, no, that really happened. She's just been murdered. Just to make sure we know that he's taken action, he picks up the phone. He's like, hello, 911. Oh, it's just so bad. So bad.
Oh, Deckard, he's such a dork, man. Right, let's get these deaths out of the way. So yeah, so then I've got in my notes, I've got Sleazebag, because I couldn't remember his name, but I'm referring to Jim. He gets his head crushed by Michael, just a head crush death.
His hands don't even do that. He just holds his head. So shit.
He does bleed from the eyes though, which is, you can see he's staring straight at him and like his eyes start like watering red and then they start bleeding. I didn't mind that. It's more of a Jason kill, but
yeah.
Rudy the chef, he gets a fight going on. At one point, he throws fucking paprika in Michael's eyes, which blinds him. That paprika must have hurt him more than them 2 fucking bullets did, because he sells that like way worse than getting shot.
He's like, fuck. Do you know what though? Like Rudy the chef, right? He is like an early 90s gimmick wrestler. Like he's a chef, right? So every offense that he does is like chef and food orientated. He's like, you like sushi, motherfucker. He's like, you must have too much protein in your body. And it's just like, fucking hell.
I know.
Was this written by Vince McMahon? Christ.
So bad.
So yeah, so this is where Rudy is actually the last of our main cast to get killed by Michael, because we now get to the final chase. So Michael's chasing Sarah through the house. She is being guided by her. Oh, what is he? He's a fucking simp, isn't he, Deckard? He just loves her. She's just like doesn't know who he is. But he's texting. He's like, oh yeah, Michael is over here. Michael's over there. He's upstairs. He's in the alleyway. He's in the bedroom.
One letter at a fucking time.
I do like that though. It's not. I don't like that in the film, but I do like the thought of someone who is being chased by someone who is being told by like someone else what's happening. So imagine just like getting a text saying someone is like in your bedroom right now, and then like you just have to look around and that kind of shit. I think that's a scary concept.
It's an interesting concept, and it could have been done justice in a better film. And it's probably been done before. But the concept of it is, to me, is I quite like it.
There's a point I've made here was, so she goes into that room and she gets onto the roof and she escapes through the window and she puts it down. And then, we see Michael come in and he looks at the window, he's like, fuck, she's gone out of there. And then it cuts to the outside and he just smashes his head through the window.
Yes, he does, yeah.
Like, not even, it's just so, not Michael Myers. But I also
noticed... It's like what he did earlier in Laurie's bedroom.
Yeah, literally, he just loves smashing his head through stuff. If you look from the inside shot, I made a note of this, the window is only about 2 foot off the ground. So he's gone in there and he would have had to kneel down.
Below
he would have had to kneel down.
He's gone on the floor. But then she also, right, his head's just sticking out and he doesn't even get to look around and she just full on punts him in the head.
That bit I fucking love.
If you slow that down, you could probably see his head just flap because she just full on.
I wonder if they put the mask on a mannequin and she just fucking went.
Yeah, definitely. And she just went for it with her heels. Just smashes him. Because the head just goes like that. That was one of the most brutal Michael attacks. And forget the guns, forget explosions. I know, she just full on kicks him in the face. It's fucking dead.
Volleys his head.
Randy Orton punts him in the face.
Are we ready for the chainsaw fight?
Not quite. We've still got something before that.
Yeah, oh no, we talked about the Go Now and Bold, didn't we?
She goes back into the house, and then she meets Busta Rhymes.
Oh, yeah, and then he gets stabbed, doesn't he? Oh, no. We got the Kung Fu battle.
We get the Kung Fu scene, yeah.
But what I actually really fucking love about that scene, obviously it's super when he's like, wah, doing all this Jackie Chan shit, but is when he fucking kicks him out the window, that sequence of Michael like rolling through the thing and then basically breaking his neck, like Jason does. And I was like, fucking hell, that's so good. Like, it's the way it's shot and the sound effects is like, fuck. And then his body's just like swaying back and forth. I really enjoyed that.
Paul, where would you rank this fight, Busta Rhymes and Michael Myers? Where would you rank it? Would you rank it above Scorpion and Johnny Cage?
No.
Or is it somewhere below Reptile and Liu Kang? Where would you rank this one?
I would rank it just above Liu Kang and that jobber who Shao Kahn takes his soul and he turns silver. Just above that. But also just below Sub-Zero versus the Fwai guy, where he just like freezes his whole body and explodes. Hey, Fwai! If you put that clip on YouTube, all the comments are like, Fwai! It's fucking awesome.
Right, they end up in the shed. She brings out the chainsaw. She does a fucking Ginny from Friday the 13th impression. This is for Jen. This is for Rudy. Fucking, oh my. I was embarrassed watching it. I was embarrassed for her.
Fucking hell. Do you know what's worse though? Like, Texas Chainsaw was after this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and this probably didn't happen, but in my head, they watched Resurrection and were like, fuck. That's the scene we need in our film. That's the scene we're going to take to the producers and sell it. This is for Ray! It's like, oh, fuck off. It's so bad. So bad.
The bit that makes me laugh in this bit as well, because, Michael's, headbutted the glass to get out that window. He headbutted Laurie's bedroom door to get in. The camera just sort of pans to the door to the garage, and Busta Rhymes comes fucking cannonballing through that thing. like he's been fired out of a cannon into the door. And he's like there to save the day. Oh!
There's a scene, they obviously try and remake the famous, where Michael sits up. And again, this is another one I screenshotted because it looks fucking awful. It looks so bad. Let me just get it up for you guys.
Yeah, but show us the picture first before you get it up.
You sound just like those guys again. It's so shit. Like, it looks like he's wearing a mask that he's bought off eBay. Actually, no, he doesn't, because yours looks good, Paul. Look at the fucking mask. It's so bad. It's so shit.
For everyone listening at home, the shot is of Sarah crawling on her belly in the flaming garage while Michael is sat up in the background behind her. The mask is like, that looks like...
It looks like Busta Rhymes one, doesn't it?
It looks like they've used an Arnold Schwarzenegger mask and painted that white. You're like a Terminator 1 mask.
Do you know what it might be? It might be, looking at it now, it might be like some kind of, well, maybe not, I don't know, but like heat-proof, fireproof thing. It just looks so different to... Yeah, it does look like the Arnold Schwarzenegger mask, you're right. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, so now we come to the finale. So Michael has beaten Busta Rhymes, about to stab him with a knife, finish off Sarah. But Busta Rhymes gets one last ounce of strength. Summons all his fighting spirit, picks up 2 electrical cables, and electrocutes Michael Myers' testicles like he's fucking Kane, tying Shane McMahon to a post and getting him with a car battery. Michael flies back, lands in these hanging cables, just hangs himself, gets electrocuted.
Can I just say, though, we've missed the most famous line of the film.
Give me the line. Go on. Give me the line.
It's as he busts in the room. Michael's about to kill her, isn't he? He turns around to him and he's like, well, we know the line, don't we? Trick or treat, motherfucker. And then, what does he do? Does he like roundhouse kick him again, or does he like super kick him?
He does a Liu Kang bicycle kick.
I was like a Ryu fucking hurricane kick, just smashes him on. I was so zoned out by this point. I was just...
It was just funny to watch at this point, wasn't it?
We get what's the other one? So we've had Trick or Treat Motherfucker. We get Burn Motherfucker. Burn. And then as he's leaving...
Happy fucking Halloween.
Hey Mikey, happy fucking Halloween.
And he carries Sarah off and the place burns down with Michael inside.
Happy fucking Halloween.
So yeah, we get the wrap up of the film. We get Michael's body. We get another classic Busta Rhymes quote. They have a look at Michael's body, and Busta's like talking to him. He's like, "You're looking a bit all crispy there, Mikey, like some chicken fried." It's like, I did laugh at that. Like, it was just so ridiculous.
And then it's like the news people are interviewing, aren't they? They're like, "Mikey ain't no fucking." Like,
like
he's changed his outlook.
he's learned the error of his ways. He vows not to exploit America's tragedies for profit anymore. But then he starts like waxing philosophical about the nature of evil and Michael Myers, like as if it's meant to be some sort of deep spiritual thing. But he's a shark, baggy ass overalls.
It's more like he's like the main character of the film. He's like the. Do you know?
He's the protagonist.
Would you be interested in watching a Busta Rhymes takes down horror villains series?
Yeah, I think I would actually.
Yeah, I'd probably watch that.
Busta Rhymes versus Chucky.
What's this toddler-sized motherfucker?
Pint-sized motherfucker. Pint-sized cracker-ass bitch. Fucking spin kicking him through a window.
That fucking line now has amused me. You look a little crispy there, Mikey.
So, let's fucking end this. The body goes to the coroner. Fucking surprise, surprise. He's not dead. His eyes open and we get a quick cut to the credits. Thank fuck that is over.
Was that like the biggest fucking like student film ending of anything, right? It's the worst fucking. Oh, I swear when it plays as well, there's like those stock Halloween sounds where it's like, ooh, like it's just fucking so bad.
It was fun. Come on.
Oh, we can finally say goodbye to that fucking this Michael Myers, this continuity. You can just suck my balls.
So I think so far, out of all the I know we've had some bad films so far, but that's probably the worst ending out of all of them so far.
Definitely the worst ending, yeah. Because all the endings tend to have some sort of interesting twist.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was just fucking horror 101, but not in a good way. Like, you know,
With Michael being tied up and electrocuted, and then it just cuts to like the police arriving, the house is on fire. That is completely ridiculous. We're just left to assume that he was burned, and he's like, burn, motherfucker, and all that shit. That's awful. But like the eyes open at the end, that's classic horror. I quite like that. It's like, it's stupid, it's shit, but it's like, it's almost like Nightmare on Elm Street, the final Freddy pulling through the door thing. It's like classic shitty horror, and that's like, to me, I like that stuff.
If the film was actually like a shitty horror, like a shitty horror,
like, it is
good,
though,
then yeah, I'd be like, oh yeah, fuck it. But it's just like, I can imagine like Mustafa Akkad was probably like, right, number 9, what's the plan then, boys?
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Well, did you know that number 9 was supposed to be called Halloween Retribution, and it was gonna follow Freddy, apparently?
I think I did know that, yeah.
Michael Myers 2K, that was one of them as well. Michael Myers 2000, and then it went to 2K. Michael Myers Homecoming was one of them as well.
Did you know about this film? Quickly though, one of the titles for this film was going to be Halloween, MichaelMyers.com. Right, we're gonna skip the recast this time because we just don't care. Nobody was interested enough, and the only person that was interested enough to recast was Busta Rhymes, but nobody else could play that role as well as he did. So, like, because he was Busta Rhymes, so what's the point? We were going to do some sort of plot rework. I mean, I haven't really thought of anything. I don't think James has, but Paul, I know you've got something in the can.
My idea would be, and this is shit, by the way. This is going to be on the same level as Resurrection. So, right, we've got urban explorers, right, and they are filming everything on GoPros, and they're like, we're going to this house of a serial killer. We're not going to say who it is and all that shit. And they do the whole thing. They go around each room. They're casting it live, and you get snippets, maybe like inklings that maybe something's there, you know. And it goes through the film as normal. Michael appears, but way more in the shadows, you know, bear mask and all that. Kills them off one by one until the final girl's left, and she fights with Michael. He falls off a roof, and she's like in the living room in the main thing, and the front door opens, right, and a group of people walk in, and it's the French cult from Martyrs. And they're like, nice to see you. And they take her down to the basement. They skid her alive. And then we just get the end of the Martyrs. That's the joke ending of my idea. That would be good. That's what I thought of after my original idea, which was shit. Anyway, that's my replot.
To anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about the French film Martyrs from 2008, which is... I've only seen that film once, and it stuck with me. I saw it a long time ago. It stuck with me. I always swore I'd never watch it again because I didn't feel like I needed to, but I think I want to see it again now. If you haven't seen Matters, stop what you're doing, go and watch it immediately.
I always think now, and we may cover it on this podcast or not, but I always think now Mademoiselle, the cult leader, and now we've been talking about it, I can't envision anybody but CCH Pounder playing that character. Fuck. But with Martyrs, the older I get, the less I want to watch. I really want to watch it, but I don't think I could sit through it now. And I used to watch it loads as a kid.
When you were younger, you were a lot more desensitized to this sort of stuff. I think as you get older, you realise what a lot of that stuff means and the impact hits you harder. So,
gross.
Yeah, content warning, listeners. It's very, very gross, visceral. There's a lot of triggers.
Like Dan said, go and watch this film.
Yeah.
Go and watch this film. It's great.
And it's actually good compared to some of these other, like a Serbian film and all that crap. Martyrs is actually a very good film.
Oh, yeah. And don't ever watch the American remake.
I've never seen it. I've never watched it.
We are talking about the French version of Martyrs, not the American remake.
Yes. Just in case.
Right, that about takes us to the end of Halloween Resurrection. So, guys, give me your usual wrap-up. Winners, losers, MVPs, VIPs, final thoughts. Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Right. I enjoyed this film way more than I thought I was going to on this rewatch. To be fair, it was really late at night. I watched it on my laptop in bed. I put my phone down on charge or whatever and just laptop on my chest. Didn't have anything else to pay attention to, so that is always, for me, a massive bonus. I went into it remembering how shit it was, and with knowing how shit it is, I just sort of let myself go a little bit and enjoyed it. I enjoyed Busta Rhymes, because I honestly don't see it as a real Halloween film. I see it as just a film, and I didn't care about Michael. Better than H2O, 100%.
No way.
I enjoyed it. It's obviously wank. It's a shit film. Everything about it is shit, but that's why I kind of didn't care and just let myself enjoy it. I probably won't watch it again ever unless we had to review it again for some reason.
Please, no.
No, not in a million years.
Rating out of 10, 2.
2 out of 10. Okay. James, what's yours?
I don't know. I think this film's a real fucking pile of shit. And it's too much. It's weird because the era it was made is perfect for that era, I guess. But it's too much like American Pie meets Halloween, and never the two shall meet or should meet. Again, this could have been a film about any killer. I think the story's bad. I think the deaths are not very good. And it's just such an obvious cash grab, I guess. Like I said earlier, if it was made today, I would kind of want to see the style, but I don't think the story would be enough. Oh my god, a group of kids go into a house and get murdered. I don't know. It's not. Yeah. Whereas you watch 13 Ghosts, pretty mental, and it's it's kind of fun to watch. But this is just fucking awful. I actually give it a 1 out of 10, and it's a shame. I think the biggest shame about it is that the series ended with this film and not H2O's ended. Personally, although sorry, I will just say. Since we've been talking about it tonight, I really I found the comedy more so in Busta Rhymes' character and stuff, since we've been discussing it. That's kind of, I guess, weirdly, that's the one thing I do like about it.
Big agree there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you, James. I thought this was fucking terrible. Just an absolute boring, just nothing slasher. Again, you could have put anybody into this. You didn't need to make this a Halloween film. It's a Halloween film, so you've got to have higher standards, and this did not meet them. If you didn't have Michael Myers and it wasn't a Halloween film, if it was just some brand new killer, some slasher fucking dude, then it would have just been it would have been forgotten as just some basic ass nothing. But because it's Halloween, it's remembered as one of the worst. Well, it is the worst Halloween film. I was so bored. There was a couple of laughs that I had, but I think were unintentional. Out of 10, I would give this. I'd give this 1 star. No, I'd give this 1 star, but then because I appreciate some of the stuff Busta Rhymes was doing in it, and because Michael looked better than he did in the previous film, I'd get it 1.5, but I am never, ever going to watch this film ever again. As God is my witness, I am never sitting through this film ever again. It's just not worth your time. Even if you're a completionist of the Halloween films, which we are, so we've had to do it. Just wasn't worth it. It's short, yeah, but it's 90 minutes, and so was H20. But H20 felt like an hour, half an hour. It flew by. This felt like twice as long. It was just They're the opposite effect.
Do you know what would have made this film better? If at the end, when he opens his eyes, right, add another hour onto the film.
Yeah.
Right, hold on, wait, and do it like Cabin in the Woods. So he opens his eyes and walks back in, and then Freddy comes out of nowhere, and then Jason comes out of nowhere, and all these different like horror icons just start coming in, and it's just like a Cabin in the Woods style. They've opened up this like dimension of all these villains. That would be quite cool, because it would fit into that comedy
Or
horror.
even if you did like did you ever see the film Vacancy? Even if they did like a thing at the end, it was like, I don't know, like it was like a seedy company. Like say Busta Rhymes didn't turn, if he wasn't like a hero, he was actually like a seedy thing, and they were making like snuff films, and all these people playing Michael Myers were just fucking grunts in masks, but not even a copycat. I mean, just like, I mean, it wouldn't fit into that franchise, but, you know, like Vacancy is like, you know, they film people in the hotel rooms getting murdered. It's fucking terrifying.
Okay, James, let us know what else was released, what other films were released in 2002 that we could have been watching instead of watching this pile of wank.
Okay, so there's a few personal favourites in here. So I've listed my first favourite first is 1 Hour Photo.
Ooh, good film.
Which is a fucking sick film. Cube 2, Hypercube, which is my favourite of the Cube films.
That's an awesome film.
Good. Red Dragon. I always think when I watch that, it's like a 90s thing that like mum and dad would watch. You know?
Yeah.
Cabin Fever, Eli Roth's first film, right? We had The Mothman Prophecies.
Nice.
You know my opinion on this film. I always fluctuate because on paper I love it, and for the first sort of 20 minutes I love it, but then it just goes on for too long and it's just not a very good film. Very creepy parts in it though, but
fucking hell. Yeah, the first third of it's well creepy. We've got Carrie, which I've never seen this year made.
Nah,
is it Carrie 2?
No, it's called Carrie, which is 2002. And then there was another, it's a TV film. Blade 2.
Quality.
I can't remember anything about that.
Shit.
You're shaking your head for it. It's quality. Got Danny John Jules in it, the cat from Red Dwarf. It's fucking awesome.
Don't give a fuck.
I'm not joking. Blade 2's sucking.
He is fucking.
Blade 2 sucks.
He's good. We've got Fear.com. Did you ever watch that?
Never seen it.
I think I always remember the poster of it. It's like that blue smeared face. Panic Room, which I don't like, I'll be honest. I think it's Jodie Foster in it. Maybe that's why I don't like it.
Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart as a really young kid.
We had Reign of Fire, which isn't a horror really, is it? But...
Reign of Fire actually came 4th in the charts, and Halloween Resurrection came 5th that year.
Is that the Christian Bale dragon film?
Yeah,
Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey's shaved head.
I saw that sort of around the time it came out, but I can't remember a thing about it apart from the bit where they say the prayer at night to keep you safe from dragons. I remember that one.
Yeah,
but I don't remember
to keep the
anything
dragons
else.
away. The film's not great, but I quite like that film. Gotta be honest. I love dragons though. So
we had Ghost Ship, which I saw a clip of the other day, and it looks exactly like this film. It looks exactly like 13 Ghosts, even though I like 13 Ghosts, but it looks very much like what's going on in this place we've never been before, where it's meant to be haunted and you people get killed when they come in. Dog Soldiers, which I've never actually seen. I've heard everybody loves that one.
That is a fucking...
Dan, you used to blag me about that film. You used to be like, "Oh, Paul, watch Dog Soldiers." I'd be like, "All right," and I just didn't.
Have you not seen it either?
No, right? Because when you were blagging me, my TV had like a problem where like everything was like super dark, and that film was really dark, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'll watch it." Just pretended.
Well, that'd be a good one to do if me and Paul have never seen it.
Yeah, you'd love it.
Nah, my TV's too dark, sorry.
So, the next one, which I think is probably on par with being one of the worst films ever made. Any guesses? It's a sequel.
Final Destination 2.
No. American Psycho 2.
Oh, shit. Mila Kunis.
I remember being so excited to watch that as a kid and being like, fucking hell, this is...
I got it on a pirate DVD and I was like, what? No way. Yeah.
Fucking awful film.
Yeah.
And then the last one, this actually came up when I searched for horror films. Scooby-Doo came out this year.
Fuck.
Which I think, not that bad.
That's a badass film, that.
So yeah, what do we think of
The
that?
definitive Scooby-Doo film. It's the Scooby-Doo film.
Fuck yeah, definitely.
There's one film I think you missed that I kept waiting for you to say it because it was released in 2002.
Men in Black 2. it was number 1. It beat out Resurrection.
Jason X.
Oh no, 2001 that was apparently. Oh yeah, you what? Yeah, UK. 2001. 2002, you're right. Oh, so yeah, so that's like a direct... Oh, you can just tell like how similar they all are, right?
So that's 2002 in horror.
Do you prefer the list of films that came out this one or at the same time as... I think during the H2O podcast, all the films that came out that year were fucking bangers, weren't they?
Right, guys, thank you for... How long I don't even know how long we've been on. It feels like fucking eternity. We've probably been on for about 3 hours, but it feels like fucking 6. We've had to watch this film and then spend 2.5 hours talking about this film. So.
I've enjoyed it. Come on, it's been
There's nobody else I can hold hands with through this thing, so thank you for guiding me through it.
It's been great, guys. Come on.
So we will see you next episode, which will be episode 9, where we will be talking about the next stage of this franchise. It's another reboot, written and directed by Mr. Robert Zombie.
Fuck yeah. I'm ready for that shit.
Fuck yeah.
Let's do it.
Right, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.